Hi. So, folks, today I'm going to talk about how I personally have dealt with the grief of losing my brother. So, I'll get through this. It's not a problem. And you'll understand why it's not a problem at the end of my little talk. But um, as children, my brother and I were very, very close. He looked out for me. So, as I said yesterday, I was often called a weed. I was very thin and I was an easy target for the bullies. But my brother was, although he was 2 years younger than me, he was the one that looked out for me and made sure that anybody who attempted to pick on me would it'd be the last time they would attempt to pick on me. Anyway, as we moved into teenage years, we sort of drifted apart because I was on the road and living rough and that sort of thing. And we didn't see that much of each other from there on. But he was always very close to me. And, you know, he was my brother at the end of the day. He was my little brother. So in 2007, May 3rd, he passed away due to complications with type 2 diabetes. So he was actually living in the States at the time, and he'd been there since 1999, hence it being 20 years since I've last seen him. So he was living in America, in Oklahoma, of all places. I don't know why he ended up in Oklahoma, but that's where he ended up. And it was there that he passed away. Now, how I deal, luckily, he is the closest person to me that I've lost. And so I can only speak really from this one aspect. But my belief system is that just like I'm talking to people that I can't see here now, I talk to my brother. And whilst I don't know if you're responding or not, or I don't know how you feel about what I'm saying, I don't know how he feels, but I talk all the same. And because I talk all the same, and because I believe that you are there, and I believe that he is there, then I get satisfaction, I get comfort from this knowing that he's there. And I'm trying to put it into context of how that makes me feel. That, okay, some of you have responded to the post, and I have a feeling that he is with me. This feeling allows me to not suffer that that feeling of loss. Of course, there isn't the physical aspect, but he was in another country anyway, and social media has made it such that I have friends around the world that I've never seen. I've only typed messages to, and yet I've built bonds with people who live in different countries, that I know nothing about apart from what I see on Facebook and what we've discussed in private messages. And I use that analogy of these friendships with that of somebody moving over to the other side. I believe he is still around me. Whilst he is not here to physically pat me on my back to say, well done for living in a nice house and doing well and recovering from a disability and all that sort of thing, I know he is here. He is here with me, just as you are here with me. And by viewing it in that way, it's the only way that makes sense to me. It might not make any sense to you, and frankly, I don't care if it makes no sense to you, because it makes sense to me. And that's all that matters, is that it makes sense to me. My brother is around. I feel him. When I want to get stuff off my head, I'll talk to him. And sometimes I talk out loud when I'm walking Archie mainly. And sometimes I just talk in my head. But I'll name him. I'll say, Mick, how should I deal with this subject? Mick, give me a way of a sign, help me out on this. And that's what I feel is important. So dealing with the grief of a sibling, it may be different with a loved one or a parent. I haven't got parents, but that's by choice. Dealing with his loss is, I suppose it's different. As I said, I don't know. It's the only one I've had. But I hope you can understand what I'm trying to say, that he is in here and he's in here. And therefore, he's around me as well. And being around me, I don't feel I miss him, because I know he's with me. I know he's with me every day. I know he comes and goes in spirit form. And if you believe in spirits and the afterlife and all that sort of stuff, I do. And we'll hear him clattering around in the kitchen or something, or trying to scare me if we're watching something on telly, if we're watching a horror thing. But I don't see images like that, so it doesn't bother me. But my wife does, so she has to tell him not to make her scared. But anyway, that's the relationship that I've got with him now. It's this, his character, what made my brother is still around me. We still have a laugh and a joke, and I remember him for all the good things. And for a long time, all I could remember was the bad things. And we had a bit of history, but all I remember now is the good things. And I'm glad I've gone through that phase of having the bad things and being uncomfortable with his death because I hadn't seen him for so long prior to it and all that sort of thing. But I'm through that now, and I'm at the other side. And, I'm going to have a drink tonight for him and raise a glass and feel him in the room with me. Not pretend that he's in the room with me. Feel that he's in the room with me, which is slightly different, because he is in the room with me. Once they move over, in my belief, they are with us all the time. All the time. Just like my social media friends are with me. I can type a message to anybody, anywhere in the world, and get a reply. You don't have to be in this space with me, but you're here with me. And my grief is the same. Death is the same for me. And that is how I use it. So I'll see you next week. Bye.